Hey guys, RichGonga reporting in, bringing you some more Starcraft 2 1v1 action. Spawning in the bottom right side, we will have MrGoomba as the green Protoss. He was nice enough to send me this replay. And in the top right, spawning as your pink Zerg, will be Kryten. I do believe, from what I was told, these two are in fact friends that are practicing a custom game against each other on Entombed Valley. I would highly recommend doing this if you have some friends either on Battle.net or in real life that you know that play Starcraft 2 and you don't want to hurt your ladder rankings, yet you do want to practice. I would highly suggest practicing against your friends, as you can practice specific builds that you've been having difficulty with, or particular races that you might be having some difficulty with. This is much better than hurting your ladder score. We do have Kryten, who's going to be starting off very macro heavy build. He does have 13 drones as it stands, probably going to be working on a 14th soon. I feel as though we will see a 15 hatch coming out soon from him. He does have his drone going down here, going to be throwing that 14 hatch. So an early expansion coming out of Kryten, gateway going down for MrGoomba, followed up by an assimilator. Looks like pretty standard openings from both players here. Kryten saying every defense is like a preemptive strike. I can certainly agree with that to an extent. We do have spawning pool and an extractor going down for Kryten. MrGoomba, no scout from him yet. He does have a cybernetics core going down. Kryten's overlord is slowly making his way over here, but this will not be the correct way to scout. MrGoomba's supply block, definitely do not want to be in that position. He does have a pylon that should be finishing up shortly, but he is loving them probes right about now. Really loving them probes. We do have 4 in queue for him. Another zealot on the way. Goomba zealot is already out. Number 1, he will be running around. I could see him possibly going out as a scout. Probably wants to get warp gate research on the way. We do have another gateway going down. Goomba the zealot is now running out. Probably going to start poking his head around, see if he can find where Kryten is. I don't believe Kryten knows where Goomba is. He does not know yet. This overlord acting as a vision barrier between these two bases. We have quite a few drones out for Kryten. Take a look at the units tab. Actually, MrGoomba is up on probes over Kryten. It is 20 probes to 18 drones, but 2 queens on the way, and once they start injecting that larva, we will see a significant difference in the units. We do have quite a few lings coming out for Kryten. He has several lings. How many lings? He has 6 on the way plus 8 that are on the field already. With that ling speed on the way, I could see him controlling a ton of the map with that. Goomba the zealot is running around now trying to figure out where Kryten is going to be. These lings are going to spread themselves out and going to start checking around. Looks like Kryten the zealot here is going to find this base the correct way. The other ones are just chilling at this middle Zalnaga. I don't see this Zergling running home. We do have a Stargate going down. He does cancel it as Kryten does run in there. I don't know if Kryten possibly saw that. Did Kryten see that? Goomba the zealot going to go down in a minute. Kryten did see something go down, but I'm not 100% sure if he knows exactly what it is. Crackling speed has finished. These Zerglings are now ridiculously fast and will in fact be harassing MrGoomba shortly. I can imagine. We do have a photon cannon coming down, but these lings are on their way and they are going to start running up here, but a simple force field should prevent that from happening. We do have the force field go down. And these Zerglings are not going to be doing much, as they weren't even attacking this gateway. They could possibly force the cancel. We do have another force field going down, lowering the amount of room that these Zerglings can surround this gateway on. And they do in fact run out of there, as this is more than enough to deal with them. We do have 3 sentries out for MrGoomba, and that photon cannon has just finished. So MrGoomba does know where Kryten is by process of elimination, but has not scouted anything up in the base yet. We do have a Void Ray on the way for MrGoomba. He is chrono boosting that out. Warp Gate research just now finishing, as he is converting all these gateways into warp gates. We should see some units being warped in shortly. Another Stargate on its way, and another pylon being thrown down for MrGoomba. A 3rd base going down for Kryten, as he is going to be clearing these rocks to make travel distance much easier from one base to the other. We do have this queen puking all over that hatchery, and we do have lair tech on the way finally. It's a good idea for Kryten, as he doesn't have too much air defense. Once these Void Rays get out in numbers, we have only 2 queens on the field, and I don't really see them doing too much against these Void Rays. We do need to see a Hydralistan or a couple more queens on the way out, that they can go ahead and transfuse one another. But this is an alarming number of cracklings right here. We have almost 2 full pages of cracklings. They are going to be coming down. I can imagine some kind of harassment, but a couple of force fields should block them just fine. We do have 2 Void Rays out for MrGoomba already. These lings are going to run in there. They were probably trying to check if there was an expansion. However, they will be sorely disappointed, as there was not. They're going to run up here now, but MrGoomba doesn't throw down a force field, but he does get surrounded by the cracklings. There is enough zealots in here to deal with this, but lost 2 of his sentries in that engagement. If we take a look at the units lost tab, we do have 34 units lost to 3. However, for MrGoomba, those 3 units were drastically more costly than the 34 units Kryten has lost. We do have 2 Evo chambers on the way for Kryten, which will also allow him to get up those spore crawlers. I still don't think Kryten realizes that there is in fact a Stargate. I'm not 100% on that. We will know shortly if he starts putting out some spore crawlers. He might have some kind of idea, but Goomba the Zealot going to try and move out here. Getting surrounded by this massive, holy crackling. We have 3 pages of cracklings going on right now. They are commanding the Zelnaga. They are going to start knocking these rocks down, possibly for a 4th base that Kryten may be setting up with later. But at the same time, we do have a Phoenix making his way down here, with the Void Rays not far behind. This Phoenix is going to alert Kryten that there is in fact a Stargate on the field. And if Kryten did see this Phoenix, he is going to start making them spore crawlers. This queen is going to start hacking away at this. This Phoenix should definitely pick that queen up. It's exactly what he does. And MrGoomba is going to start going to work on all of these drones. We do have this Overlord's going to lose his life, and it does look like another queen has spawned for Kryten, but she is not going to fare too well, as these Void Rays are just going to town on all of these drones. This hatchery is going to go down shortly. Another queen on the way. You should probably cancel that queen before he loses this hatchery. Does not cancel it and loses that 150 minerals. These Zerglings are down in the corner. I don't know what they're doing. They cannot jump this cliff into MrGoomba's base, so that's not a good place for them to be. We do have spore crawlers on the field now for Kryten. He's probably going to want to kill this one and focus down that queen. At the same time, you don't want that queen to just go ahead and shoot at will. He needs to focus down this spore crawler before it goes ahead and finishes, or is going to do some serious damage. These Overlords getting picked off one at a time. Another queen down, but these Void Rays are fully charged. And this spore crawler has finished, but I just don't see it doing enough damage to take care of these Void Rays. This Phoenix just going to town on all of these Overlords. This Phoenix with 3 kills right now, but at the same time we do have lings coming up into MrGoomba's base, but he is walled off completely. And this hatchery, this macro hatch, is going to go down for Kryten, losing another Overlord. He is supply capped at the time. These broodlings not doing too much. Mr. Goomba needs to take out these Evo chambers so there can be no more spore crawlers. Another Void Ray going to be joining the battle. Takes out one of the Evo chambers, but this is an insane number of cracklings and now banelings with speed. They are going to be rolling right in there, and we do have the force fields trying to prevent as little damage as possible, but this photon cannon still has a way to get hit, and he does lose the photon cannon. Some more force fields going down. These banelings finally doing what they need to do, and it does look like the cracklings and the banelings going to make their way and surround Mr. Goomba. One force field, but these lings are now up in the main, and there's just so much damage going on. He has lost the use of these two warp gates. These sentries just going to town as best they can, but they are out of energy. They cannot throw down another force field, which they desperately need to do. And those two sentries go down. Mr. Goomba needs desperately to warp in some zealots. That's exactly what he does. He needs to not let these lings get the surround. But at the same time, he was able to clear out the lair tech from Kryten, who's about to lose his spawning pool in a minute, but he does have another one on the way. As he feels it is imminent, he is going to lose it. We do have two queens down there who can do quite a bit of damage against those void rays, but there's just so many lings in the main right now. These sentries not doing the best job. Mr. Goomba needs to drop down at least another gateway or two, as these two are not functional. He needs to get them functional or drop another two. He needs desperately to get some zealots in his main, pull off some probes, use them in unison with the zealots. He is going to lose that warp gate down the bottom. He needs to not let these Zerglings get the surround. That's exactly what they do. He's going to lose these 3 zealots to all these lings. There's just a ridiculous number of lings with +1 attack, +1 armor. These void rays up here are going to catch this queen out of position. She is going to go down. I do feel as though he already lost one. Another queen on the way now. There was some kind of engagement that I was not able to catch down here, as Kryten is in fact supply block, but it does not matter as there's just so many lings in the main. This photon cannon is going to go down. All these probes are going to go down. Mr. Goomba pulling them off and attacking is exactly what he needs to. Surrounds him with a couple of zealots. I just don't think it's going to be enough, as there's just so many Zerglings in the main right now. We do have 17 Zerglings in the main, and there is nothing on the field for Mr. Goomba right now to deal with this, except for these 3 void rays. He needs to keep them alive. Needs to focus down on this lair right now. Probably focus on a spawning pool. I don't know why he's focusing on the egg. Need to watch that and not focus on the egg, and instead focus on the spawning pool and or the lair. These drones doing everything that they can, throwing down another Evo chamber so that he can possibly defend the best he can against all these voids. He is going to focus down on these drones now with this void ray while these two go to town on the lair. He needs to take that down, but at the same time, I just don't see him. It does look like a base race situation. I just don't see Mr. Goomba being able to finish off the rest of these buildings in time. This layer is going to go down, but there's just... These drones go down, but there's just these 3 spore crawlers are going to prove a major problem for these void rays who are getting pulled off. I don't know why he's pulling them off. That's not a good idea. This nexus is about to go down. These lings, they're tired. They're on break. They're rebelling right now as they watch all their friends do the work. Kryten has not rebuilt his base. These 2 lings doing their job against the nexus. Mr. Goomba giving the LOL, damn it. Kryten has rebuilt his base. He did have enough minerals to throw down a new one. These 2 are going to start mining. He is bringing back these void rays, but I just don't see it being enough. Mr. Goomba could throw down an assimilator, but he has not rebuilt his base, and it will instantly be revealed. These Zerglings are going to come down and wipe out this pylon. These 2 void rays, I just do not see them doing enough damage, but that probe does get taken out, and there's nothing he can do. There's the GG. And Mr. Goomba has no buildings remaining. 1 void ray up here. He was not going to be able to take these out. Close match between Mr. Goomba and Kryten. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll talk to you guys later.